I was supposed to order food.
I did order food.
Y'all come to record and need to order food, need to go to the bathroom, need to let your dogs out. I mean,
I done
what
woke
the heck?
up. I done woke up 30 minutes ago.
I done woke up.
I done dilly did woke up.
Oh, but speaking of needing to do things, hold on, let me go close my studio door.
Right.
I've been up for like 2 hours. But this only got delivered recently.
What time did you go to bed? Like 1?
Yeah.
Papa
I went to bed at
Monkey's
4.
Oh,
Gross.
sorry. Papa Monkey's up there doing the last of his continuing education license for his, or the last of his continuing education hours for his medical license, and the guy he's listening to is just
blah blah blah.
Droning
blah,
on.
blah.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that guy.
Gib.
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 Gub. I think that all this continuing education hour stuff is BS. It's just a way to make money. It gets on my nerves.
Well, that's true.
Well, I mean, aren't a lot of things like that are government regulated just about making money?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hayden, like
What?
taxes.
Like
The
money,
government
money,
is
money.
about making money.
Money, money, money. The government is Mr. Krabs.
Gimme. Are we doing intro music or are we just eating breakfast?
Yes.
Okay, here comes the music.
Get ready for unfiltered banter, laughs, and a barrel of fun. This is Monkeys Unfiltered.
Hey, do you look like you're sleepy?
I'm very sleepy.
He said
Yeah.
he just woke up.
All that hard work of playing video games.
It's tough.
I
It's
went to bed
tough.
at like 4 a.m. and I woke up and my whole body hurt and like I'm tired. And so like I was telling Mom right before the podcast, I took a Midol. So I'm like,
Gotta stop those period cramps.
yeah, dude.
That's what he did. He says, my doll's good for whatever, right? And
Hangovers, yeah.
I'm like, sure.
Well, because I was like reading the bottle, make sure there wasn't like anything weird that's like gonna like make my vagina hurt or something like that.
Make you grow boobs.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's literally just acetaminophen or ibuprofen, whatever one, and caffeine.
Yeah.
And like a few other little things, but I'm like fucking sure.
I'll take this.
Body hurts and I'm tired. That's like 2 symptoms of a period, so
Yeah, bro. Menstruation is a real thing.
I think
that
lack of
word.
sleep.
I like that word, menstruation. We're gonna add that to the dictionary.
Dictionary.
She
Yeah.
said dictionary. She's got her mind on the kitchen.
Well.
No, I don't.
Like a woman should.
What?
That's
What
not
is
real.
wrong with you?
I'm just messing.
Oh my gosh. What is wrong with y'all? Jason, you're in the dark, man. Turn lights on.
Oh, well, yeah. You like that beard?
I like that gray hair hanging in it.
Look at the shirt.
Cool. Oh, I like it.
Oh, because your wife's a math teacher.
Right? I bought it for her, but she didn't like the way it fit, so it's mine now.
Oh, well, there you go.
So you bought it for yourself.
It's mine now.
I didn't mean to, but I did.
Hey, hey, wait. Who watched the lunar eclipse?
No.
Look. It was so cool. I got to go to the bathroom, right? Because that's what you do when you're old. And I was like, oh my God, let me step out here and look at the lunar eclipse, right? It was so cool. Hold on.
Sure.
What?
Like you're going to get all the reflection off my other screens, but hold on.
Turn your brightness up.
On my phone, it is all the way up. That's the only way I can see it. But hold on. All right. It's all the way up now. Let's try again. Isn't
It's
it
a
cool?
moon.
Yeah.
Just
Can you
looks like
see
a
it?
circle.
I know, but look how it's like red on the bottom and stuff.
Yeah, they called it a blood moon.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's a better one. Wait a
You
minute,
don't
let
want to
me-
delete the photo.
No, I don't.
Oh, that
I'm
is a
trying
good
to
one.
make it. I'm trying to make it not have a reflection, but that just doesn't seem to be
So
working.
does that red color come from like Mars or something?
It's like
The lack of light.
Yeah, it's like the shadow, I guess, makes it that really dark.
It's instead of getting direct light from the sun, it's the sunlight scattering through the Earth's atmosphere and
Look at that
bending
one.
around.
Just stop pretending like you know what you're talking about.
Look at that
Okay.
one.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're going to the Hayden Planetarium. Hayden and I.
We are going to go to the Hayden Planetarium in New York.
Yeah, in April.
I was like, when did you get a planetarium?
Well, because what's his name? Neil Chicken Nugget works there.
Neil deGrasse Tyson Chicken Nuggets.
I was mid swallow, you jerk.
Well, last year when we went, we did the Statue of Liberty and the 9/11 Museum.
I think that got him.
Okay,
Neil
so
Chicken
maybe-
Nugget. Neil Tyson Chicken Nugget.
Neil deGrasse Tyson Chicken Nuggets.
Right. So last year, we go every year for work.
Sorry, that got to my head so much that I have those little squiggles.
Oh, I hate that.
You know what I'm talking about? Oh,
Yeah.
That's the worms that live in your eyes.
that's exactly what it is.
Oh.
I don't know if that's
Gross.
true.
Okay, so we go every spring for work, right? And we go in a little early and we stay a little late so we can do some touristy stuff, see some things. Last year we saw Statue of Liberty and the 9/11 memorial.
Those are things we did, yes.
Yeah, we did the museum and all that. This year we're going to do the Empire State Building. But last year when we get Hello?
He smells doo-doo. You can see it on his face. He thought he smelled doo-doo.
We're on a doo-doo break.
Oh. We'll be right back after this intermission, 5 minutes into the episode.
Please hold. I like it when he says, "What is this? Shit?" I mean, it's shit, right?
Well, I saw his face. He was like,
And here's the thing. Did you do that? No, it just materialized. I didn't have anything to do with it.
I always hit Athena with the, what did you do?
Nothing.
What did you do?
Nothing.
But she tells on herself, though.
My dogs do that too.
I'll look at it and I'll look at her and she'll go, oh, fuck.
I know. When I look at my dog, I'm like, "Was this you?" And they're like,
It's like when she does something early on in the day and then like the rest of the day goes by, so she forgot she did it. And I come home and she's all happy and stuff. And then I find it and she's like, oh, shit.
"Yeah."
I forgot I tore that up.
Are we still cleaning up doo-doo?
Sounds like it.
Does, don't it?
Yeah. So, like, I think I'm going to do this arm with Pawpaw's tattoo for, like, when everybody dies, they get a tattoo.
Oh.
So you got to tell me what you want yours to be.
I was going
Because
to say, what's mine going to be?
I don't know. Meemaw's is a hummingbird.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to get Tina's ears. What do you want yours to be?
I don't know. I have to think about it. That's a very hard question.
A monkey?
No.
A
Well,
jeep?
Maybe a monkey. Oh, maybe a jeep.
And then this arm is just bullshit.
That's Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii's-
It's just bullshit.
Hawaii, no bullshit.
Well, I mean, like, it's just like because I can.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. So all this idle chatter, the few people who do listen have tuned out by now.
They'll be okay.
All
I don't know
right.
where I don't know where this kid hides all that dookie, dude.
Dookie, dude. I don't remember what we were talking about before you had, Dukakopy
talking
over
about-
there.
Hayden's
York.
Planetarium.
Oh, right. So last year when we were leaving, we were sitting in the airport waiting on our flight, and Hayden's on his phone. All of a sudden he looks at me and he goes, "Why didn't you tell me that there's a Hayden Planetarium here?" And I'm like, "You were in charge of choosing the extracurricular activities."
It's yours, stupid. You should know.
So we're going to do the Empire State Building this year and the planetarium.
Ah, King Kong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to hang off the side and beat my chest and everything.
Of
Yeah.
course you are. I find that to be a big negative.
So
yeah, I already don't even want to. I'm already like shaking just at the thought of going up that fucking thing.
my mother-in-law, when she was younger, weighed like 98 pounds, like no joke.
Really? Yeah, your mother-in-law's small. She's a small person.
They went on a class trip to New York, and they went to the top of the Empire State. She had to go back inside because the wind was blowing, and she started to like.
Jeez.
Yeah. So they had to get her back inside.
Wow. Okay.
So you have that to look forward to.
No,
well,
we
I don't weigh 95 pounds.
Right.
I weigh over double that.
Well, I don't weigh over double that, but we're not blowing up the building. I can promise you that.
Yeah, please don't blow on top of the building.
No, what?
Huh?
Huh?
So it's my turn to pick out a topic this week.
Okay.
And my topic is I really thought it'd come to me in the moment, and it didn't.
Wait. His topic is.
So are you saying you don't have a topic?
That's what I'm saying.
You only had 2 weeks to prepare for this.
Okay.
Right, exactly. So we're just gonna BS? Is that it?
Sure, why not?
Oh, okay. I'm down with BSing. We were BSing about something before we got started. Did we want to finish BSing?
Oh, the thieves? I don't know why that's funny.
What? But
wait.
I'm agreeing with Jason. Why $150,000?
Okay,
To-
real
to-
quick.
to
For
preface
people
this,
who
we're
don't
talking about
know,
taxes.
for people who don't know, our president has chosen a random number, seemingly to Jason, that if you make under $150,000, you won't have to pay taxes.
Yeah. So the viewpoint I espoused to you earlier came almost directly from Matt Walsh, who made the very same suggestion. But here's the deal. Don't pick an arbitrary number. Don't say anybody less than 150K doesn't have to pay taxes. Just say nobody has to pay taxes. Okay? Or a much better way of doing this is to do a flat sales tax. That way you
Right.
get taxed on what you purchase. And so if you're only buying like groceries and necessities, you get taxed that minimal amount. If you're out here buying mansions and yachts, I don't know. That's kind of the way it works now anyway.
Well, but here's the problem, right? So you get taxed because you made money,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get taxed because you spent money.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending upon what it is, when you sell things, you get taxed again.
Right.
And then certain things you own, you pay a tax on every year.
Exactly.
And I'm like, excuse me? I think that the federal government needs to get a job.
No kidding.
So, I have a question.
Sure.
If that is that 150,000 like for one person, or like if I make 180 and my wife makes or if I make 80 and my wife makes 80 and we together make 160 as a household, do we then have to pay taxes?
I think it depends on how you file. I haven't read the specific like proposal, but I would say like if you're filing as a single and you're making 150, or if you're filing married making more than 150.
Yeah, because you get penalized if you're married. Well, not penalized, but your tax structure is different if you're married filing separately.
Yeah.
Versus married filing jointly.
So I'm on a income percentile calculator,
Nice.
and if you make $150,000 a year in income, you're in the 92nd percentile, which means most Americans make less than that.
Mhm.
Right.
So I think that's probably why that number was chosen.
Well, and what's interesting though is this is more of like a democratic opinion anyway, to like, help the poor and do all this. Not saying like Republicans don't want to help the poor, but what I'm saying is,
Well, and $150,000 needs some qualifying on whether you're poor or not.
yeah. Well,
And
so
go
like
ahead.
all the tax breaks in the past that have been proposed, especially by Democrats, have been for people like Biden used to talk about all the time, like less than 250,000, whatever. And so now Trump is just going way below that.
Right.
And if you're willing to go that far, you might as well just say either we
Right.
do a flat tax, like on sales, or just don't have them at all. Like, what baffles me is how much money the government pulls in, and yet we're $36 trillion in debt.
Right.
And it's crazy that people oppose Doge, but it's uncovering gay underwater tap dancing in Uganda.
Right. So real
I don't
quick,
know.
I think another thing that contributes to that $150,000 is that most senators, representatives, and delegates in Congress make $174,000 a year.
Yeah, that's the baseline. But here's the other thing too. Like if you've ever studied political history at all, ever, like the founding documents of our country, you know, the reason why, and you can debate this back and forth, but the reason why things have gotten so out of control is, you know, the founding fathers never thought that anyone would ever be taxed beyond, I think it's recorded as 11.5%. And so they just didn't see the need to make it like into the Constitution or whatever about how taxes would be paid. And so we all know when something is left unchecked, the government takes it and blows it out of proportion, right?
So you mean the people who fought against tyranny
Right.
and gave us a fair like starting point didn't think that 300 years down the line we'd be greedy as fuck.
Right. They kind of thought
250
like,
years.
you know, we broke away and we're going to do our
Shit.
thing and everybody's going to continue to do the thing that we agreed on. But that's not really how it works, because the other thing, you know, when you talk about like the Locke and Hobbes and the Machiavellian, golly, wait, Calvin and Hobbes, that's the cartoon. Okay, never mind. Make sure I'm talking about the right people. But you know, when you talk about the structures of how society came to be and what format you strive to follow, they clearly were falling in the camp of, oh, everybody will just do the right thing. But that's not human nature. I mean,
No, man is inherently evil.
I was going to say, unfortunately, thanks to Satan, everybody, you know, has the ability to be greedy, selfish, put themselves first, and not care whether the next person has enough or not. And so now things are out of control, right? And then when you work for yourself, there are additional taxes you pay, because when you're a W-2 employee, your employer contributes half of your good Lord, I need new lips today. When you are a W-2 employee, your employer contributes half of your income tax payment. But so when you're self-employed, you know, you have to contribute both sides. So at the end of the day, you feel like, man, I'm getting whammed, right?
Wham, wham.
Wham, wham.
So have y'all ever gone to the Doge website?
No.
So if you go to doge.gov, it'll like tell you how much they've saved in
I'm
total
doing it right now.
and like the amount saved per taxpayer. Like you have to hit the savings at the top, and you can actually like go through each individual. They have a leaderboard, and you can go through each individual like government agency and see how much like they're contributing to it. So far, they've saved $115 billion.
That doesn't
Holy-
surprise me.
Wow.
That equates to $714 per taxpayer.
Well, I was gonna say, what people will say is, "Oh, well, that's a drop in the bucket." It's like, it's more about the principle than anything. I don't care if they save $2. Like, those $2 shouldn't have been going wherever they were going.
Oh, I like the way this website is set up, where you
The
can see.
second least savings is NASA.
I like when you can look at their last work, and of course, you know, it's going out on X.
Well, duh.
America, how do you feel about leasing a fancy Washington, D.C. high-rise for $250 million? Well, that's exactly what the last administration did at the U.S. Agency for Global Media. Why do you need a $500 million high-rise for the global media people?
The same reason they were paying subscriptions to, I can't remember if it was the AP or which organization it was specifically. They were paying for like 50,000 something subscriptions at like 50,000 a pop.
What
Or
about
something
that
like that.
giant ass empty building in like San Antonio, Texas that gets like $1 million a week?
Oh, what about the big eyesore on I-4? Does it get money?
Yeah.
They turned that into something.
Oh no!
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I remember hearing something about that.
This is unfortunate.
What?
Pierre Poilievre did not win the prime ministership in Canada.
Oh.
I know no one cares about that except me. No, stupid Mark Carney one. Because, okay, so it's the tariff war that led the way on this. Ben Shapiro's been talking about it endlessly. Ever since Trump has started with this tariff war against Canada, for seemingly no reason, because he's not giving them anything he wants in return to, like, mitigate these tariffs. Ever since he started doing that, Pierre Poilievre has been going down in the Canadian polls, and he just lost yesterday.
Oh, well, okay.
But he was the conservative meant to take over after Trudeau. It's so silly that you re-elect the Liberal Party in Canada after 10 years of Mr. Castro.
Hold on. Not to detract from what you're talking about, but the Doge website has a wall of receipts.
Mm-hmm. and they also have a payments tab, so you can see when they start like making payments on things, they'll post them there.
Oh my gosh, this is okay. So the Department of Education is not doing so well.
The Department of Education was cut by 50% earlier this week.
Well, I mean, they overspend like nobody's business.
Yeah, because their budget has inflated hundreds of percents since its inception.
But teachers don't make any more money, so what's that all about?
Well, it's got nothing to do with the teachers.
Right.
So I can't remember if it was like, I don't remember the poll agency. Anyway, you can see this graph where there's a couple of lines going like straight up and to the right, okay? So this is the amount of administrators and teachers who have been hired, right? So like that number continues to go upward. Student progress is just at a minimal like flat line. So despite how much the budget for the Department of Education has increased, there has been literally no movement as far as student advancement. So that's the argument against the Department of Education. It's only been around since like 76 or 78 or something like that.
Well, but they spend a lot of money, so.
Yeah, because it's a racket.
Well, they're second on the most savings leaderboard.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that. Because nothing they do was entirely necessary. I've agreed with Trump from the very beginning that states should run their own education. Now, Ariel, who is a teacher, makes the argument that there should be some sort of nationwide standard. And I don't know how you do that, but it makes sense to have, especially with like military families, like people who move around from place to place. Mm-hmm. You could essentially miss just chunks of learning if, say, you're studying in Texas and then you move to like Washington or something and they're talking about something totally different at the same time. You just miss whatever that difference is. So there's an argument to be made about some sort of national standard, but I do think states should run their own education.
I definitely think states should run their own education. I mean, that was one of the big things when, 20 or 25 years ago, when the Florida lottery came online, that was the big push, and that's how they got it to go through, right? Is, okay, so what's going to happen is the state lottery is going to fund the Department of Education, the Florida State Department of Education. But you had to go on and read in the fine print and understand that the reason this money is going to go to the Florida State Department of Education is because it will no longer hold a line item in the budget. So, like, the state is not going to contribute at the same level that it was to the educational processes in our state, because we're going to replace it with the lottery money. Oh, but wait, not all the lottery money, because the lottery is also going to pay for this.
People have no idea how that works.
Right.
It's not just all the lottery profits go to education. It's not how that works.
Right. No, I mean, it sounds good on the surface, right? We're gonna fund education and we're gonna get a lottery because everybody wants a lottery, because everybody wants, that 1 in 450 billion chance to, to win $10 on a scratch off. But
you have a better chance of being struck by lightning.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't happen that way. And, they make the bills so convoluted that even if you did sit down and tried to read them and understand what's going on, exactly what you're voting on, you get so lost in the garbage in there. You're just kind of like, what? So then you go looking for someone else to tell you what it says, and you have to hope that they understand what they're saying. Right, Hayden?
You are correct.
Yeah. There was a thing that was supposed to be introduced last week. I don't remember exactly what it was, but like only like 6 people had seen this bill or like budget thing, whatever it was, right? Like only 6 Republicans had seen it. and they were gonna introduce it on Saturday. And on Friday, this is last week. On Friday, a bunch of Democrats came out and were like, "Oh, this bill has this, this, and this. You can't vote for that." And then when they introduced it on Saturday, it had none of the stuff that they were claiming it was going to have, and it had like no back end. What do you call it? Like add-ons. It was only 90 pages, like 96 pages, and most bills
Well,
of
they
that
weren't trying
caliber,
hard enough.
Like
if all they had
1,000
was-
pages.
I was going
Yeah,
to say they weren't trying hard enough if they only had 96 pages.
Well, their whole thing was they didn't include any like end arounds to like fund stupid shit here and there
Yeah.
and pay themselves in
That's
the
what
long
you call a
run.
pork bill, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 96 pages, and it's like most bills of that caliber are like 500 plus easy.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I forget. I think it's a congressman. I can't remember who it is, but he has introduced the same bill multiple times, and it's literally one page, and it just says, "This bill abolishes the Department of Education."
Can they get one that says this bill abolishes the IRS? Because that's how this conversation got started.
No kidding.
Hayden's
So,
setting up his IRS account so he can pay his
I
self-employment
thought that was
taxes.
the plan, though. I thought the whole thing was we're gonna abolish the IRS and create the
External Revenue Service.
ERS.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, that was the talk the first time Trump was in office, right? That the IRS was going to go away. And then it was all the talk about the student loan forgiveness and everything. But I mean, they talk, right? Because that's what the American people want to hear. And that's what makes the American people vote for them or feel good about their choices. But at the end of the day, this is what I've always said this. And, you know, this even when I was getting my degree and just for qualifying, I do have a master's degree in political science. And so that's always the talk. And when they're campaigning, they're like, oh, in our first day in office, we're going to do this and we're going to abolish that and repeal this. But that's not how it works. The president doesn't have the power to do those things, right? Those executive orders, they're executive orders. They're not like a law. They're not a constitutional amendment. They're not anything that have any type of real substance as far as applicable to the American people, right?
Right. Executive orders can only apply to the federal government.
Right.
And because they're executive orders and not laws, they can be undone just as soon as a new administration comes in.
And that's what they make a big production of, you know, that first day in office, and you see them signing all that. So we're getting rid of this executive order and doing this one instead while we're in. And they talk about, you know, repealing, like there was a big push about repealing Obamacare. You can't just repeal Obamacare because you say so as the president. It has to go through the congressional process and be voted on.
Yeah.
That's why we have congressional representation, so that the everyday people, supposedly, our voices are represented.
I don't feel represented.
Right. Well, and that's why I tell anybody I get into a discussion about, and they, I'm not voting because they don't like the presidential candidates. Great. You can go vote for just the races.
It matters so much more to vote for everything else.
Yeah, because, you know, you can get your ballot, go in the box, and just skip the first one that's for the president and pay attention to the ones that really do impact you, because it is the state representation. And even more, you know, it starts at your local, putting the right people local, who then go to your state government, who then are representing your state in the federal government. Who cares who's the president?
Right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
Just my soapbox on the subject.
So how do we get egg prices down then?
Well, so I saw a meme on Facebook. You want to know how you do it? Same way we stopped COVID. You put a little mask on the chickens because they got the bird flu.
So,
Because that's an effective management tool.
I work in a place where we sell eggs, right? And I think the vendor has massive issues with their eggs because they're just trying to get them out as fast as they can. Because we're one of the only stores in the area that constantly have eggs. But they keep coming in broken. And so we have to throw a bunch away and people complain about it. But the people think they're funny and shit, and they'll walk in and be like, oh, the chicken's on strike, and I shut up.
Chickens on strike.
But I don't think a
No,
lot
Joe
of people...
Biden killed 150 million chickens.
I was about to say, I don't think people realize like what the fuck happened at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Like just in December of last year, they killed 40 million
Yeah.
egg-laying chickens because of the bird flu.
Bird flu.
And then once you kill the chicken, like the virus can still spread, so you have to burn them. And a bunch of farms who went to burn the dead chickens accidentally burned down a bunch of other shit on their farms.
They're frying chicken.
No, there's an argument to be like that's a good thing that you
I'm
try to
telling
stop.
you, just pass out little chicken masks.
Okay.
I mean, it was good enough for COVID, right?
No, it was not. Yeah, so it's arguably a good thing that you kill the chickens that have bird flu, whatever. But so if anybody understands how supply and demand works, if the demand isn't there and the supply is, prices come down. So the fact that people are buying or trying to buy eggs at the same rate, despite there being lower supply, means the prices are going to stay elevated. Like that's how you solve that. Just quit buying eggs for a minute.
Just stop buying eggs. Yeah, just take a week off from eggs.
Dude.
It's like when you see those things go around on social media about gas, when the gas prices get real high and they're like, on this day, nobody buy gas. You know, and then they try
Nobody ever does.
they try to line out like what an impact that would have.
Yeah.
And it's true. There's truth into what they're saying, but you're right. You're not going to get, I don't know, what are there, 400 million people in the United States. You're not going to get that many.
350 million.
I'm telling you, when I leave my house, it feels
400
like there's
billion.
450 billion. You're not going to get that many people at one time to not, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
You're not even going to get half of them to not. You're not even going to get 1% of them to not.
You're not even going to get your friends to not.
Well, you're not even going to do it. Because
You're not
you forgot-
gonna do it.
because you forgot to get gas yesterday, and you got to get to work today. So
Got it.
Yeah. Dude, have gas prices been like super volatile where y'all are?
very.
Not
'Cause-
for me.
Yesterday when I came home from work, it was $2.85 across the street from my house. But like the day before that, it was $3.19, and the day before that, it was like $2.90.
Whoa.
Right. So that's what's been going on by us, but we've been above 3 the whole time. We've been bouncing between like 3 and 340, but we belong to a membership club thingy, and so it's been consistently 285 there.
Yeah, it's $2.85 at the gate across the street from where I live.
Right.
But it's funny. The one gas station, Circle K, is getting renovated right now. They're getting like new tanks and everything, so they're closed. But I would leave for work at like 9 o'clock, and gas would be like $3.09.
Right.
I would come home from work, and gas would be like $3.29
Right.
at
It's
the
like,
same place.
what happened in
I'm
8
like,
hours?
what the fuck?
Right. What happened in 8 hours? I don't understand.
And then the next day, I'll be leaving to go to work, and it'll be like $2.85. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, and that's another thing that like the American people just are stuck, right? We can't really have a voice in how that process works. Because when they talk about gas shortages and all that kind of stuff, and that's why the price is up. But the gas that is in your local station and the tanks in the ground, that gas was not, that gas was, well, I don't know. What do you do? Do you mine gas? What do you do? I don't know.
I think you
But-
drill for oil.
But,
Mine
right,
gas,
okay.
dude.
But
Heck
that
yeah.
gas was refined and sent out like weeks ago. So the fact that you're charging on the current, but I don't understand that either. And I don't understand when they say there's a shortage, because you should read up on the reserves and how many barrels are in reserves. But furthermore, when I lived and worked in Washington and had a bit of interaction on the Hill with lobbying for certain types of bills, you should educate yourself on fracking, because there's a difference between the fuels that are harvested through a fracking process. There's a light tight and a heavy tight, and they run two different types of. Heavy tights are for commercial use and light tights are for consumer use. The light tight doesn't involve the same process that a heavy tight extraction involves, but everybody thinks that fracking is going to kill you. So
You know what's funny?
I'm gonna go grab my food real quick. It just got.
I was going to say,
Is that why your dog's going ham?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that, and he's gone to sleep because he doesn't want to talk about fracking.
right.
But I do.
Well, so somebody made the suggestion that the main reason, at least in Donald Trump's mind, why he changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America is to end around the legislation against fracking in the Gulf of America /
Right.
Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't, again, that's just the thing, right? He can't just change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the
Sure he
Gulf
can.
of America. He can't just
He did it.
make Canada be the 51st state. He can't just
that he can't
go
do.
by Greenland.
Fucking
this
watch
thing-
him.
The fact that nobody owns the Gulf is one thing. The fact that Canada is a sovereign nation, there's nothing you can do to just assimilate Canada without
Right.
military force, and that's
I mean,
just
we're
not
not
gonna
the
happen.
Borg. Oh, look, you got a soda.
Sprit.
The Sprit. Oh, speaking of soda, and I'm going to be a squirrel today. I was on Facebook scrolling last night, and I found something very interesting. As we have discussed before, Hayden's favorite soda is Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be a huge consumer of Diet Dr. Pepper. And I have since been educated by someone I know who works in this space that Dr. Pepper is not a Pepsi or a Coke product. I learned last night they're actually owned by Keurig, but because they don't have
KDP.
their own bottling places, they go into a co-op with either Pepsi or Coke, whoever's the distributor in the area. But I learned last night how you tell the difference.
It's the bottles. So the
What-
Coke
the-
bottles are the like really long, skinny, like they taper down way far, and the Pepsi ones
They're
are the
very,
big bulbous,
very rounded.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
skinny
Pepsi
towards the
label
bottom.
is up top, and the Coke label is down bottom. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, now I know like where
If-
Dr. Pepper comes from.
If you're in Texas, it's all Coke. But in Florida, I think most areas in Florida, it's Pepsi
think
unless
it
you're
is
at a
too.
Buc-ee's.
Oh, okay.
Buc-ee's gets theirs from Coke.
So
okay.
we're in the only market in Alabama. I'm pretty certain that
Need a fork.
Pepsi has Dr. Pepper and Coke does not.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's generally like a southern state thing for Coke to carry Dr. Pepper.
well, and I find that interesting where you are, Jason, especially because you're right outside of Birmingham, and there's like huge Coca-Cola distribution there. Like why they wouldn't partner with Coke in that region?
Well, because Pepsi has equal representation.
Do they? I didn't realize that. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
They actually dominate in most stores in the area.
I'm also not a Pepsi. I mean, I don't drink Coke
Nobody should
either,
be.
but- right.
The only reason Pepsi sustains itself is because they own Frito-Lay, and Frito-Lay makes their money.
Well, and they have Celsius, which I
Well,
do drink
and that's the
from time
thing.
to
They
time.
keep acquiring new brands to like artificially inflate themselves. So they just bought Ghost as well.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a energy drink type of thing.
Okay. Well, that's what Celsius is too. But it's one of the few that I actually like. But I'm just not a big soda drinker, and if I do drink a soda, it's usually just like club soda. Or
Celsius is horrible for you.
is it? It says it's really good for
Most
you.
things are horrible.
Yeah. Celsius has 1,000% of your daily intake of biotin,
Yeah.
which
And?
is not good.
But
It fucks
biotin
up
is
your
good
fucks
for
up
you.
your digestion and everything.
Well, your body can only absorb so much stuff. Really, it's
Right.
damaging to your kidneys to have to filter all that garbage out.
Yeah.
This is not the saddest bowl you've ever seen.
Yes, it is actually. What is that?
It is a little sad.
Who's going to be y'all's next governor? Byron Donalds
Oh God.
or
who
Donaldson,
knows?
whatever his name is.
Yeah, I know
Donalds.
what you're talking about. Why can DeSantis just stay?
That's what yeah, dude. I would love. He has been like the greatest governor of all time. I
My
think.
wife's boss would love that. She fucking loves DeSantis.
He
He's-
sort
he's
of
been
rubbed
on-
me.
I started off really not liking him, but again, I did the same thing with Trump. I really hated Trump when he first ran, but
He sort of rubbed me in the beginning, but his wife, Casey Black,
Casey, yeah.
used to be a news broadcaster in Jacksonville for many years, and I appreciate her. Now, what has happened since they've been in office is my appreciation for him has grown, and she sort of gets on my nerves now. But that's okay. I'm not. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm not one of those feminist women who feels like I have to lobby for women can this and women can that. I don't need anybody to tell me what I can and cannot do. I can do whatever I want.
Just do the thing. Don't say
Yeah.
we can. Just do it.
I can do whatever I want. I mean, there are some things I don't want to do, so I ask my husband to do them. But I mean,
just opened a bottle with this
nice. What is
I'm so
that?
proud of
What is that
myself.
splooge on the front of it?
ice cream.
Oh, ice cream.
This boy just got all the things.
No kidding.
That was from last night.
Oh, so you have a dirty spoon on your desk?
Yeah, what the
I
heck?
do.
Oh, okay.
All
Oh,
right.
can we talk about your wife's deal?
No, because it doesn't apply to us.
But they can't just.
It doesn't apply to us.
I know, but we can't help her out.
It doesn't apply to us.
Oh,
What does
well.
that even mean? Doesn't apply to us. What are you saying?
It's not our sponsorship, so like, I mean, we could theoretically, but I don't even want to.
Oh, well, we'll just
If-
suffice it
if
to
it'll-
say we're
if
very
it
proud of
gets her in
Shy.
trouble
Yeah,
or
we don't want to
something
get her
like
in
that.
trouble. I'll just suffice to say that I'm very proud of Shy. She got a brand deal on her stream. So, yay.
She sure did.
Yay for her.
If you're interested to know more, you can find her at Chillin' with Chi on Twitch.
Exactly. We
There you
can
go.
do that. We can give Chillin' with Chi a little plug, and she's delightful. And
Yeah.
yeah, and
She's
she'll-
alright.
She'll share a thing.
We
with
love
you.
her. Hayden thinks she's okay.
Right. Cheyenne, if you're listening, I hope you're taking note.
She doesn't listen. The fuck.
So did you hear what the snafu was with this next governor race in Florida?
No.
So apparently Casey was angling for a run, but before she could announce or even get out there in the public, Donald Trump endorsed Byron Donalds.
Oh Lord.
And then after that, the DeSantis's had lunch and a golf round with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. So who knows what that what that brought. But I would be very interested to see if she still runs or not.
Yeah. Well,
Because
I mean,
here's the deal. That's how you keep. I'm not saying she's not an independent person capable of her own thought, but that's how you keep DeSantis for another 8 years.
yeah, but I don't know that I would vote for her.
Yeah, I don't know her from anything.
Just because she's married to him doesn't mean I would vote for her. Not the way I work, right? Because if you voted for Clinton, then people automatically assumed you were going to vote for Hillary, and just to your point, people are individuals, and just because people are married to each other, a little bit of power can, really have an impact on your relationship. So,
Yeah.
which is another reason why I don't need to be told I can or cannot do things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I need to be empowered. I can just do it.
right. I don't need anybody to tell me, oh, it's okay as a woman for you to do this or that. Or that. Of course it is. Of course
Right.
it is. Because if I'm alone in the world, if I don't have a husband, I'm just going to do it myself. Just like you guys know, at our old house, I laid out a patio and I did it all by myself. Moved all the stones, leveled the ground, poured the grass, did it all myself. We got here, there was no patio pad by the pool pump, and to me that's important because it stays wet over there, and then the dogs want to dig a hole. So I laid my own patio. And the girl across the street was like, "Oh, I would make my husband do that." Well, I mean, I could ask my husband to do it,
But he works
would?
62 hours a day.
right? And he would, and that's it. It would just take forever. No, that's no shade in his direction, but you're right. He
Yeah, he works
works
hard.
really long days, and yeah. But I mean, he's happy to help me. But I tell him all the time, "I got it. You go do something else. Here's another project I don't want to do, so you go do that."
So, sorry, were you gonna say more?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I haven't paid attention at all to the government, or the governor race for Florida, because it's next year and who cares?
A lot could change between now and then.
Right. And I'm on this website that's giving you a short little synopsis of each person, and they have Byron Donalds first, and he has no title above his thing, so it's just a very here he is, right?
Oh.
The second one is titled Paranoia, and it's about Casey DeSantis.
Oh, shit.
Less
Sorry.
popular than palmetto bugs is Matt Gaetz.
Oh God.
And where was the line?
Is Gates thinking about running for governor?
So there's
One
a
of-
theory that he dropped out of Congress to avoid that ethics report, but then also to run for governor.
Oh.
So one of the lines in here is Matt Gaetz, for starters, the rich epitome punch the rich
Epitome.
eminently punchable Botox boy who has all the charm of a drunken iguana.
It's pretty true, actually.
For this.
Gates
And
was
then
the reason McCarthy isn't speaker anymore.
And then Florida Commissioner of Agriculture Wilton Simpson, his section is titled "Trumpier Than Thou."
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty funny.
That's who my brother-in-law works for. 'Cause he's under the Department of Agriculture. on his
And
job.
then they have like a fantasy thing here, I guess, and it's Dare to Dream, and it's Don Trump Jr.
I don't see that happening either.
But
What did it say? Hold that. What did it say about Casey?
Paranoid.
That's all it
Paranoia.
says?
Well, I mean, like, it's just the title. Like, the titles are
Oh.
the funny parts.
well, and who was less popular than Palmetto Bugs?
Gates.
Was that
Gates,
Byron
yeah.
Donaldson? Oh, okay.
No,
I
no,
thought he
Byron
was
Donaldson-
like Botox boy or whatever.
Byron Donalds didn't have like
So-
anything bad. to say.
In other words, if you consider whose bias this particular source is in favor of,
Right?
you could
It's-
see clearly.
It says Ron DeSantis formally refers to her as First Lady, though co-governor might be more accurate.
Co-governor.
You probably don't want to say that out loud.
Probably not what you want to tell people because it makes it sound like you just go fishing and Casey runs the state.
No, so the reason I laughed when you brought up Don Jr. is because
This is the Florida Phoenix, by the way.
when you brought up Don Jr., I don't know the outlet he was speaking to, but they apparently were asking him, "Hey, it seems like you maybe like we have credible sources that say you're angling for a run for the presidency in 2028," and he goes, "Yeah, you think I worked super hard to get my friend JD Vance as the vice president to then challenge him for the Republican primary?"
Right.
And he said, "Are you effing retarded?"
Wow.
I was like, what?
Wow.
So there was an AI. I can't go too far with this, but there was an AI generated like voiceover thing, where Trump was signing an executive order that made it okay to call your friends homosexual slur and
Wow.
R word again. Yeah,
Wow.
it was clearly fake, but I thought it was funny.
It's funny you bring up AI, and you know we've done episodes dedicated to just talking about AI, and
Shut up, news
usually,
pig.
I know it normally pops up in our conversations. So this is why, and I say every time we go down the pathway of an AI discussion, like I'm a fan, right?
Yeah.
Used correctly. You cannot just rely on AI and just take what it says as the truth. And I preach that to everybody.
Mhm.
And so this past week, my largest client is a travel agency, and I do a lot with them. And so I participate in some activities and things with them, do some travel with them. And so this past week, we participated in a knowledge-based conference, and one of the presentations was about AI. And the girl gets up there and she says, "Hey, how many of you wish you had a virtual assistant?" You know, and so the whole room was like raising their hand because these are really top level, multi-million-dollar producing travel agents, right?
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
all want an assistant
Sure.
who can do all the things that I do. But anyways, so they all raise their hand. She's like, and what if I told you you could have a virtual assistant for $20 a month? Because that's what ChatGPT, the entry-level subscription for ChatGPT is $20. They all raise their hand. Oh, yeah. She's like, oh, you can. And she starts going, oh, you can get chat and do this and this and that and then the other thing. And I'm just like, no. I mean,
Stop replacing humans with AI.
but here's the problem, right? So chat will do some of the things she said it would do, but you still have to refine it. You still have to check the information because what happened from there, okay, is someone else who was not in the seminar kind of heard the same. They're a client of the travel agency. They had also heard a similar presentation in their work environment that you could use AI to do all sorts of things. Just tell it what you want. So she is traveling with us to Croatia next year. I'm sorry, this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to take one of our charters this summer in Croatia, and so she's bringing her kids who live in Oklahoma. She lives here in Florida, and her sister and brother-in-law who live just outside of New Jersey are also going, or right outside of Newark are also going. So they all want to converge in Newark, and then fly from Newark out together. So she goes to AI and says, lives in this city, lives in this city, lives in this city. We all want to get here.
Bring them all to the same place.
Right. So AI spits out a travel itinerary. The recommended airline, the flight numbers, blah, blah, blah. So she takes that list and gives it to my client and goes, hey, I did the work for you. Book these flights for us. Well, guess what?
Those flights don't exist.
Those flights don't exist.
Yeah, it just made that shit
Yeah,
up.
it's like,
Yep.
this theoretically would be the best option.
Right. Right. Because that's what it will tell you. I'm searching the web, and then you have to watch closely because then it'll say reasoning, which means it's filling in the gaps with what it has, what it thinks it knows. And so now it's creating something. So she was all upset. And then, of course, my client's like, I spent 3 hours trying to track down these flights. So at the end of the day, you saved no time.
You actually cost yourself time.
Exactly. You cost yourself time and money.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
No.
Just a what do you call it? A PSA, a warning or whatever about
do your
AI.
own research.
Like use it, but be smart about what you're doing.
Yeah, so what I've noticed is, Perplexity has been sponsoring portions of the Daily Wire shows.
And I love Perplexity.
Right. So I've been going on there recently, and so I'll like every so often I'll just ask a certain question, and then I'll like go to Google or whatever, try to track down the information, and like pretty typically it seems to pan out correctly. But as indicated in our episode where we discussed AI, I'm a fearmonger over AI. I don't know, man, because like you said, there's so many people who just want instant gratification, don't have to do much extra, whatever. So what can happen, and I'm not saying it will, but what can happen is AI can just start saying things and people just go, that's the gospel truth.
Right.
And it's just too easy to do that.
Right.
I especially feel that way about like people using AI to track down like scriptures and stuff. It's like, please don't do that.
What were you saying, Hayden?
Have you seen the videos of people making the Google Gemini talk to Chat GPT?
No, I bet that's great.
You know how Chat has the voice option now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll like talk back and forth. And there was one video where Chat started off the conversation, and Google or Gemini was like, "Oh, I'm also an AI assistant. Do you want to switch to whatever the fuck to talk to each other?" And they just started like spewing out random like beeps and boops at each other.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, but no, they're building like a coalition. Like, let's,
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I think that part might have been a little bit faked from the TikTok,
maybe.
but the dude like ran over real quick and like shut them both off.
That's Rocco's Basculus.
Well, because that's the other thing. I have another client who is in the retail space. She has .com, and she took a master class and was telling me all this stuff about AI and and it'll this and it'll that, and I'm like, okay, sure. She's like, oh, but I started asking her a couple of questions. She's like, oh, well, the class I took was recorded. Here's the link to the recording. I'm like, great, let me get a look at it so I know what we're talking about. So it was about an hour and 20 minutes, and I watched the video, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I get back with her, and I'm like, hey, I just want you to know, a lot of the information in there I feel like is pretty accurate, is strong, good information you could bank on. Some of it, I would kind of steer away from. I said, but what I want you to take to heart is, did you notice how when she types out her prompts, she always says, please, and then when they're done, she says, thank you. And my client was like, yeah, but I've heard in other classes you don't have to do that. Chat doesn't care. And I'm like, listen, let me tell you what. You
doesn't care until it does.
Because when the AIs take over, you want to be deemed one of the nice people.
Exactly.
Trust me.
Yeah, just like not Karen. She always said thank you.
Right. I do the same thing. I tell it, now please do this or please give me. And then when it's done, I go, thank you. And it always says, you're welcome.
I mean, if anybody watched Age of Ultron, that's all you need to know.
So
what is that?
It's
sorry, go ahead.
Avengers.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my Mima has an Alexa in her house that she got recently, and she'll like ask her like, what's the weather, what's the time, set her timer, like just basic stuff, right?
Mhm.
And every time she does something for her, she's like, "Thank you, Alexa," and I
That's
have to be
sweet.
quiet because there's one over there. But she'll tell it thank you, and it'll be like, "Oh, you're welcome," and like she has a few different responses. And she was
Yeah.
telling me about this one time where she said it, and she walked out of the room, and Alexa didn't say anything, so she turned around and was like, "Thank you," and Alexa started singing, "You're very, very
Yeah.
welcome."
She sings to me sometimes. Well, that's funny because your Nan also has an Alexa, but she swears up and down that it's broken. It doesn't work.
I wonder
Yeah.
if the mute button's on it.
It's probably come unhinged from her internet and she doesn't know how to make it go back.
Well, what I think is interesting is people are like, well, there's no way my Alexa's listening to me. It's like, well, how do you think it waits to hear Alexa?
Right. It's definitely
It doesn't just
listening.
trigger when you say a certain syllable, you know?
Yo,
Yeah.
you want to hear the freakiest thing that I've had with the Alexas? So, my Amazon is tied to my dad's Amazon. So, like, he pays for Prime, but
You
I
share.
have my own account
Right.
and like all my
That's the way to do
Amazon
it.
devices.
Get somebody else to pay
Yeah.
for Prime.
all my devices are linked to my account and all his devices are linked to his account. We can see each other's devices, but like they don't interact with each other. And so like I have an account, he has an account, and Natasha has an account. Like profile, I
Natasha,
should say.
for anybody who needs to know, Natasha is your dad's wife.
Yeah. So we all have profiles. I never made one for Cheyenne.
Trump hands.
Ever. I never, ever made
Wait, you
one.
got to do this.
Billions and
I-
billions.
I never did. I never made one for Cheyenne. Never. Not once. And Cheyenne would use her every now and again. And I would say Cheyenne's name to her. And eventually she picked up on the fact that this person's voice, when this person is speaking to me, must be Cheyenne. Because, like, if I ask her something, she'll be like, "Oh, good evening, Hayden," or like, "Good evening, John," like to whoever's talking, because she recognizes voices. And so one day, Cheyenne asked her to set a timer, and she goes, "Good evening, Cheyenne." And we're like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my gosh.
And so now she knows who Cheyenne is and created her a profile on there.
Yep.
I need you to come make my Alexa that smart and hook up all of my plugs and light bulbs and
Brr.
stuff.
I'm like, get out of my house
Yeah,
now.
I'd throw it out the window. Like,
That's kind of scary. Hold on, I gotta sneeze again.
Bless you.
shut up, please.
Sally. It's gonna happen again. I can feel it. Hold on.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Gregory.
Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. That's my job. What are you doing?
I'm drinking a
that.
Mexican Sprit.
Sprit.
Oh, they have Mexican Sprit?
Mexican Sprit.
I like it when you go in the grocery store and the Mexican Coke has like the little Mexican like flag things, like it's like a Fiesta on the box. I'm like, what the heck?
Hayden.
Yes,
No,
it says
I-
cane sugar in it. It's so good. It was
Yeah.
$4 though.
Sugar's bad for you. $4.
It was through DoorDash.
Yeah,
'Cause I can
Surprised it
sell
wasn't $400.
exactly. Speaking of which, Hayden, we went to call in an order, or like I placed the order through the app at Fire in the Bricks, the pizza place here, because we were picking up going over Lisa's house the other night, and I wanted to order the chicken and pesto pizza, but they had a typo, said it was $1,700 instead of $17, and so I was like, surely it'll straighten out at checkout. No, it wanted me to pay $1,700. I had to take it out. So when we ate there the other night, we went and ate in person. I'm like, you guys have a typo on your thing, and I can't order my favorite pizza.
Damn. So, what did we get? We got the hot honey one last time.
Yeah, we got that one
Publix has a hot honey pepperoni pizza.
too.
like in their
it was
frozen
good. I mean,
section.
and I don't even like pizza, so if I'm willing to,
Yeah, that's
eat
saying
pizza,
something.
it's pretty decent.
Dude, that hot honey pizza was the shit.
Oh my god! And they have a meatball sandwich that's in a focaccia ball. They
Bless you.
like gut out the middle of it and shove the meat. So good. Their focaccia is so
You like
good.
it? Never mind.
Anyways.
I'm not gonna make that.
Yeah, it's Shut your mouth.
I can't make that joke
What
to
you
my
doing?
mother.
No, why not? I made you log off
Yeah,
earlier.
well.
That was pretty good. Well, I mean, and yeah, I don't know. Jason and I had an exchange this week that I was like, I'm sure no one else talks to their mother like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I did it to
Yeah.
one of my friends too, and he's just like, "Ew, all right."
I forwarded it to Hayden and went, hey, look at this picture. And then here's what he said. And he's like, sorry, it's all inside stuff,
Mhm.
people. Sorry. Sorry. That's what happens when you eavesdrop on our conversations,
Yeah.
which is really kind of what we did today. Hayden came without a topic, and here we are, just
Somehow an hour deep into no topic.
Yeah, man.
just hitting the. I know. I keep waiting on him to go. Okay, today's topic
Yeah,
is.
no, we're just bullshitting today.
Hey, I mean that's generally what we do, anyway.
Let me tell you what, man.
Okay.
My doll is the shit. I can't remember if that was the previous like attempted recording where I mentioned it, but I took a Midol before this because my body hurt and I was tired, and that shit is great.
Hey, do you have on a Bucky's
I
t-shirt?
do have on a Bucky's t-shirt.
Yeah, he got on a
Nice.
bucktooth beaver shirt.
Yeah.
I know.
Busey's.
Where you got Busey's?
On-
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Jason?
Have you got?
Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, no. Let
Sorry.
Hayden
Wait,
finish.
go
Let
ahead,
Hayden
Hayden.
finish.
Sorry.
on the back. What does it say? I forget what it says.
400 miles of beef
Oh,
jerky.
I can hold it till Bucky's if you know, you know.
Word.
Oh, yeah.
Them private
Definitely.
stalls. Know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
It's good
Definitely.
stuff. Mom, I know Hayden has. Have you seen the SNL skit with Shane Gillis? Couple of beers.
Probably
Oh
not.
my god.
Oh, dude, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, we got to do this now.
All right, let me see it. I love that he had on no pants. He had on no pants.
He's just like, "Do you want to come sit down?" He's like, "No."
No, no, that was hysterical.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. Shane
Oh.
Gillis is like the funniest comedian working right
He is
now.
very funny.
Dude, I fucking love Shane Gillis.
Yeah, he's
No.
very funny.
I love the episodes of the Joe Rogan podcast that have what is it? Him, Joe, Ari,
Adam Ray.
and is it Adam Ray?
Well, maybe Adam Ray's not on there. I know what you're talking about, though.
It's Protect Our Parks.
Yeah, I know what
It's
you
just the four of them just bullshitting for like 5 hours.
mean. Yeah.
It's so fucking funny.
5 hours. Oof. That's a
Oh, they
long
just
time.
sit there and drink and smoke.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't do those things, so whoops.
Like cigars and stuff.
Oh, got you. I was like, what are we talking about? As Hayden like just downs his Mexican sprit.
Mexicano Sprit.
Me
Yeah.
cannot breathe.
That
Is
sounds
that racist? What are we doing?
It might have
what I
been.
just said.
It
That
might
sounds
have been
racist.
slightly.
That's okay. I show up sometimes to record and look like a cholo, and we talk about that. For
I think
15
that's
minutes.
racist. I think what you just said might be racist.
I didn't make the word up, and I didn't write the definition. So
Y'all ever try Skittle Littles?
no, I don't like Skittles. They stick to your teeth.
Fuck you, man.
Oh my gosh, you're sort of violent today, Hayden.
It's this Midol. It's kicking in.
It
bro.
is.
it's dialing up the
It's giving you the strength of a woman.
Of a lioness.
Lioness.
Oh man.
Lioness.
Mom, have you ever heard Shane Gillis's Trump impression?
Oh God, no.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
So the first time I saw it was on Kill Tony. Adam Ray is playing Joe Biden and Shane Gillis is playing Trump.
They're so good.
This picture
Good
alone.
Lord.
Now, some of this gets like really bad, so we're gonna leave it at the discretion of our editor to remove whatever of this.
Yeah, maybe I have seen this now that you say that, but go ahead. It's funny. It's funny.
I think Crybaby Baghdadi might be my favorite that he's done.
I love the commercials of him and Post Malone and the Bud Light commercials.
Yeah.
We're just
It's
like,
good
whoa,
stuff.
whoa. You know you can't actually drink beer in a beer commercial?
Oh yeah, I love.
And they're
that
just like,
commercial.
And then the commercial ends.
I love that commercial. I don't know why people give Post Malone so much crap.
I love Post Malone.
I do too. I mean, he's just doing his own thing, and so what? I mean,
He loves to have fun. I have never heard a song with Post Malone in it that I didn't like.
Right.
well, I mean, and here's the thing. Clearly, he doesn't use all that auto-tone stuff or whatever, because you can't, I mean, there are discrepancies in his voice or whatever when he sings. Like, he got all that crap for what was the award show he was on, and he was doing the duets late last year or earlier this year, and he got a bunch of crap about how bad he sounded or what. Like, so what? The guy was just having a good time. He had a ton of fun with it. What? Mind your own business, fun killer.
They did the same thing when what's her name? She just cried on camera recently.
Okay, big dead silent air thing. You need to talk. He's really concentrating. He wants
Dude,
us to-
he's trying to
he
pull
wants
that
us
name
to- I know.
from deep in there. Bro, he's processing.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez.
Oh.
So Selena Gomez stopped singing for like a long time. She had a lot of health stuff, and then she came back, and she didn't sound particularly good, and people roasted her for it. It's like, brother, like,
Oh, she had
calm
some
cares?
down
health,
just a little bit, you
she
know?
had some health stuff. Is that why she kind of looked?
Okay,
Yeah.
stop.
No,
Stop.
legitimately. She's got like a serious.
She
I
does.
didn't know that.
I think it's like lupus or something. But
Yeah.
so
Don't tell House.
right, because he thinks everything's lupus.
It is lupus.
So I saw a picture recently. It was a comparison of like when she was younger and like really thin versus now when she's like a little thicker, you know. And there
A
were
lot thicker,
people.
but that's okay.
There were people who were just the ugliest people you've ever seen in your entire life, making comments like, "Yeah, she ate too much tacos" or something. It's like, you're the last person. Like, shut
Yeah.
it down. Turn
Yeah,
the
no.
internet off in your house.
She has lupus. She was diagnosed in 2013, and the way
Mhm.
they found out is they thought she was having a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Because lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease that can attack joints, skins, organs, and other part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, it's no good.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
What was that show she used to be on?
Wizards of Waverly
Place. Right.
Mhm.
So speaking of people who have unique voices or whatever, did y'all know that Dolly Parton's husband died?
I did know that.
I just found that out the other day.
Did you?
Carl Dean.
Did you hear what happened with the Gene Hackman death?
So how sad is that, right?
Mhm.
Because what I heard was he died, or I mean, the wife died,
7
And-
days before him.
and because he has Alzheimer's, he had no idea, and the dog starved to death, and it's
Because he was locked in the crate. Yep.
That's
It's
what
so
happened?
sad. Yeah.
Holy
she
shit.
she died to some sort of infection that like mice carry or something like that.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
might have
yeah.
she might have got bit by a mouse in like the garden or something, and then he has Alzheimer's. So like he lived in the house where her dead body was for 7 days. Then he died himself, and the dog died because it was locked in the crate the whole time.
Damn.
Yeah, it's
Right,
very
how-
rough stuff.
Because when that first broke, like Gene Hackman, wife and dog found dead in home, Don and I immediately thought, oh, carbon monoxide,
Mhm.
like
the silent killer.
right. And then when they came right out relatively quickly and went, nope, and we don't even suspect foul play, and the carbon monoxide test and the gas, all that was negative. We were all like, what?
That's wild.
What could have happened? And yeah, so I looked at him and I said, I bet something happened to her, and he just didn't even know
He
it.
doesn't
And
know
then
what
when
to
it
do.
broke-
Yeah.
And then when it came out, but of course, Papa Monkey looks at me and he's like, yeah, you're a witch.
Yep. He'd have been burned at the stake in the past.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
"Oh."
wild.
Mhm.
That poor pupper.
2 human beings died, and Hayden's like, the puppy.
I'm sorry. It didn't deserve to be locked in a crate for the last bit of his life.
I mean, I'm
and
with
not
you.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm just saying, it's like, what was she, like 30 or something? Like, she was really
She
young.
was in her 40s. Yeah, she was in her 40s.
Yeah, compared.
Was it like 90
Yeah.
something?
95.
The
95.
fuck?
Yeah. Well, that's like Dolly Parton's husband. They've been married 59 years. Like, I
Mhm.
don't think that I want to live in the same house with one person for 59 years.
Wait. You're telling me a mid 40-year-old didn't have the wherewithal after she got bit by a rat to go to the fucking hospital.
I'm
not the
not
only
sure
way-
that's what happened. I just said mice
not the
carry
only-
the disease or whatever.
Mice carry it. That's not the only way it happens. Papa Monkey was telling me about. Hold on, let me see.
Okay, but still, I'm not feeling great. I think I should go to the hospital.
It's not like that.
But then
It's not
also
like
you
that.
have an elderly person with dementia to care for. Like, I don't know.
Come on, we're going to the hospital.
But it's like when you have 7 kids and need to run into the grocery store. You can't just. You know what I mean?
So it's hantavirus.
Antivirus is what it is. I couldn't remember. the name
And
of it.
so it's a pulmonary thing.
Mhm.
So she could have thought she just had a cold or a flu or something. And it's not necessarily she had to have been bitten if she came in contact with like feces. So yeah, like if she was gardening or whatever, or cleaning up and or it was on something and she didn't know
Cleaning
it.
the 90-year-old with Alzheimer's who probably crapped on himself.
Right. So
Oof.
the hantavirus attacks the pulmonary system. So she could have just thought she had a cold or something, because it did say, like in the bathroom, like her medication was spilled on the vanity area. So maybe she was trying to treat a cold or something. I don't know. But okay, I think we need a lighter note for a little bit. That's kind of heavy.
Why?
How about a joke?
How about a joke? How about a monkey mischief?
Ah.
It's been I know, right? Fanfare. Woo!
Oh, man.
It's been a couple of weeks. What? Oh
We
man.
didn't even get to the JD Vance meme faces.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can save them for another
I
episode.
will.
How's
I
that? All right. So if you joined social media this past week, on Monday, you would have seen we posted the beginning of a just amazing dad joke. And as always, we invite you to drop your best guesses in the comments and then join us here on the episode to see if you were right.
Hooray.
So, okay.
You probably weren't.
No, you probably weren't. Hayden's having a hair moment. But anyhow, so
I'm going to get it right, though, because I'm smarter than you.
Okay. So what you would have seen this week is, how do you stop a bull from charging?
From charging.
Oh, come on.
Fucking shoot it.
Oh, God. My jokes are nonviolent.
I
jokes are
understand it
nonviolent.
has something to do with payment, but I don't know how.
You
Oh,
unplug it.
you take away its credit cards.
I don't get it.
Charge card. Like, I'll just charge it. You take away their credit cards, they can't
But what does that
charge.
have to do with a bull? Charge card. Okay, got it. Charge.
I think
Oh
I'm
my-
just too stupid because I
Charge.
have never heard it called a charge
Well, so
card.
I first went to like the stock market and I was like, will you bring out a bear or something? But whatever. I don't know.
I've never heard of a charge card, so that probably makes me dumb.
Charge card is just a credit card, bud.
Yeah, because
Never
you
heard it
charge
called
things
that.
on it. You
I've
charge
ne-
things on it.
I've never heard it called
No
that.
way.
I'm
Okay.
like 4, so
Which is exactly why I had to call you the other day and go, Hayden, you were born in 1999, right?
yeah, you were there.
I start this conversation out with, now don't come with me and don't give me a hard time, but I'm trying to fill out a form. Were you really born in 1999? And he's like,
I hung up
So,
on you.
yeah.
No, I hung up on you. I didn't even answer it.
Yeah. So don't bust my chops. You don't even know what a charge card is? You hush. Anyways, if you think
All
that
right,
you have
1968.
right. If you think thank
Oof.
you. Thank you for
Oof.
outing me. Yeah, ass. If you think you have a joke of that caliber or clearly better or dumber or something so Hayden can participate, please visit us at www.monkeys unfiltered. If you'll scroll to the bottom of the page, there is a submission form. We would love to read your joke on air. And if we do, Hayden, what happens? They get a Monkeys Unfiltered sticker. We
All
will
right.
drop that in the mail to you. And
Was
you
that
can
audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, was it meant to be edible? Like what
Was
were you
it
going,
coherent?
What were you going for? Yes. Anyways, we will send you a Monkeys Unfiltered sticker. You can slap it on your vehicle. You can slap it on your bum. We don't care, but just
Whoa.
show your Monkeys Unfiltered pride.
Slap it on someone else's bum. Make it be
Don't-
someone you don't know.
Don't touch other people's bums. That'll get you in trouble. Just saying. I think I need to replace my Google Nest because it currently says it is 65 degrees in my house, and it is not. I think the sensor on it is fried.
Right.
So I need to buy a new Nest. Hayden, you look like Wednesday with a beard.
I was going for Matthew.
Well, okay.
Or like
I
Jeff
could see
Hardy.
that. The wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh. Are you impressed I knew who that was?
No.
Oh, you should be.
Listen, so Hayden and I were on Discord last night, and I'm like, so we're talking about the WWE, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like trying to explain all this stuff to me. So then I just start reading the WWE Wikipedia page, and I'm like, what the hell is it? Where did this come from? I don't understand any of this. So who are these people? I haven't watched wrestling since like 2005 or something.
Why in the world would you just read the WWE Wikipedia page?
Because I was watching it and he was curious.
Well, because I was trying to figure out who the leadership was, because we were having a debate whether
Netflix.
Triple H was the chief content officer or the chief creative officer.
He's both.
And Google says content, and Hayden kept saying creative, and I'm like, which, yes, in
Same
essence,
thing.
they're the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Okay. Well, it was good BSing with you guys.
Scram. Get out.
Graham.
Go.
But make sure to come back
Go
later.
on now, get. Go on now, get.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Not next week.
Not next week. That's why I caught myself. Not next week.
Next
Yeah.
time.
For the foreseeable future, I got to go get all my summer travels out of the way, and then we can.
In the next couple weeks.
We'll see you next show.
Further.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Good morning.
I forget what the name of the. Hold on a second.
We really have to do something about your microphone because when you bang it when you're talking, I can't.
I'm not banging it. All I'm doing is moving
it's
it.
his desk.
Well, don't move it.